Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Today's class is a lovely heart and hip opener, and I do offer tons of modifications so that you can really make it your own flow. Even if you have any finger, hand, wrist mobility issues or stiffness, I do offer tons and tons of options, so I would love it if you still gave this class a try and let me know how you get on. So when you guys are ready, hop on your mat and we'll get started. All right, we are going to start standing. We're just gonna simply start twisting. So knees gently bent, and we're just gonna sway. Maybe you smack your back with love. We're just gonna warm up the spine. Maybe you pick up pace. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come to stillness. Maybe close your eyes. If you're feeling dizzy, just focus on something. Don't close your eyes. Otherwise, close your eyes and just take a moment. Inhale, arms up. Exhale them down. My shoulders are super crunchy today. We're just gonna do some spinal waves. So standing here, I like to put my hands behind my head. We're gonna slowly lower down, bending, and then head up first. And just continue like that for a few breaths. And then maybe reversing would butt goes back first and roll it up. Come down, roll it up. Maybe when you get to the top of your shoulders, roll back. And we'll just do one more, just cause. Okay, now, if you have a strap, grab your strap. You can also use a belt. Anything really, we just wanna have our grip wider than shoulder. We're just gonna do some shoulder flossing. So we wanna go nice and slow. I don't know if you can hear how crunchy my shoulders are. Ooh. So inhale it up, exhale slowly down the back. Inhale up and exhale to the front. And we'll just do a few rounds of those. I also like to just maybe do a little stretch while pulling on the strap. One more. Inhale up and back. Y'all, I don't know if my shoulders should be crunching this much, but when I sit all day, I swear I need this. Okay. Now we are going to softly jump. If jumping's not for you, I just want you to keep the feet planted and just bounce lightly in the knees, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna jump. You don't have to come fully off the ground, just sort of on to the toes. And we're just gonna like really let loose. So let the shoulders bounce too. Just gonna bounce. Hey, if you have music on, you could totally turn it up and have a little dance party too. Just wanna get the blood flowing. And we'll just do this for maybe 30 more seconds. If you wanna take it further and just shake out the hands. Maybe do some twists side to side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come to stillness. Roll the shoulders down and back. Now we're gonna come to the top of our mat. Now, I'm gonna try to keep this as wrist-free as possible. So I'm gonna show a version where I use putting weight on my wrists. You don't have to do this. So if we're at the top of our mat, we inhale it up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to downward dog. If we don't want to put weight on the wrists, we're going to inhale it up, exhale it down. You can do a couple things here. Put your hands on blocks. If you don't want to put weight at all, what I want you to do is just halfway lift, come down, and then come back on up. And then I want you to go cactus, arms, and up. And then we'll just come back down. Inhale up, exhale. So if you're not coming down, you're gonna do the same thing where you lift up and do cactus arms. So from here, you can also make it take it a little further each round. So maybe the first time you did cactus arms, maybe the second time we're coming into a chair pose with cactus arms. And then coming up. If we're coming down, we're gonna plant the hands, come back to plank pose, and we're gonna slowly lower to the ground. From here, I want you to either clasp behind or just keep your hands down here, and we're gonna do some back lifts. You can keep the fingertips tented, but I really want you to focus on engaging the back muscles and not relying on your arms to push you up, okay? So we're gonna lift here and lower. If you're standing and you're doing the cactus arms, you can, if you want, come to your knees if you're able to, or still standing. And then I want you to grab a strap, grab something, and help open the chest like this. And you're just gonna keep breathing. And then when we come down on the ground, that's when you can just sort of collapse forward, come back up. If you're able to, you can also bind at the back, either in prayer pose. I don't know if you can see, I can't quite do it, but prayer pose, or just clasping elbows at the back, okay? So on the ground, we're holding and coming down. And we're inhaling, lifting. If you want to lift the feet, go for it. And coming down. And now we can use our fingertips and help engage the back, roll the spine up. And exhale, lower. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. And exhale, come down. Now I want to open the shoulders a little bit more, shocker. So we're gonna bring our right arm out into like a T shape, and then we're going to roll that left leg back, and you can just touch it with the toes, plant the foot, whatever feels good here for you. And then those left fingers tent up to help support. And we'll just hold this here. Again, if you're still standing or you're on your knees and you want to join us, come on and join us down here. If you want to stay standing where you are, just continue to do that flow of inhale, cactus arms, maybe with a chair pose. Inhale up, come down, and then binding at the back and opening, working to open those shoulders. If you want to do more of the flossing, go for it. And we'll come back to center and just go to the other side. So left arm comes out into a T shape, and we're gonna roll over onto the shoulders, right leg back. And come back to center, and then just push up for me and come back to child's pose. So from all fours, you're gonna walk your hands a little bit forward, and you can really take this as deep as you'd like it. We wanna try to aim for our chest and either our forehead or our chin to be on the mat. You can also add blocks to this to deepen the stretch. Again, if we're not going on to your wrists at all, what I want you to do is just same thing. If you're on your knees, I want you to use the strap and maybe do a shoulder stretch. So you can, you know, as we do that one, you clasp your hands behind your back. You can hold a strap. If you can reach your hands, great. Otherwise, we want to hold our strap like this and really try to focus on opening the heart forward, okay? So we don't really want to overextend our back. We want to keep the core engaged and focus on opening the shoulders and the heart. And then you would just switch sides, okay? If you're still in puppy pose, oh my goodness, that's an intense stretch. So come on back. And I think what we'll do from here is go to downward facing dog. So again, if you know where you're going, head into downward dog. If you need blocks for support, use them. If you're not going on your wrists, what I want you to do is just come to standing, and I want you to grab some blocks or books or something and just gently try to flatten your back. So we're gonna wanna push our tailbone to the sky. You can keep your legs bent, of course, and I want you to just try to bring the chest down, okay? So we're in our downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you walk your dog. Maybe you do some spinal waves here. You can really do whatever you want, really. I am merely a guide. All right, so from here, we're gonna plant that left foot, inhale the right leg up, keep the hips square to the ground, and then exhale, knee to nose, and I want you to plant that foot, drop the knee down, and we're gonna inhale, arms up. So again, we're not completely falling into the hip. We do want that stretch, but we don't want to compromise the lower back. So we're gonna keep that tucked and then sink in, okay? Arms up. If shoulders are an issue for you, because honestly, sometimes this is too much for me, I like to just clasp behind my head and work on opening the chest that way, okay? So we'll be here for 3 breaths. And you can either stay here, or what I want you to do, if you want just to have a little bit more fluidity and movement, on your exhale, you'll bring it back to a half split. Again, put your hands wherever feels good for you, blocks, mat. If you have them up and you can balance, go for it. And then on your inhale, you'll come back to that lunge. So we exhale, half split, inhale, low lunge, exhale, And find your flow here, work with your breath. I found that I always struggle to match my breathing with the pace of my movement. So I've been really trying to focus on that, even if it means not keeping up with the class I'm doing. So we'll do 2 more here. This is really just gonna get nice and yummy into the hip flexors and the hamstrings. And on your last lunge, sorry, we're gonna stay here, and then I want you to heel toe that foot out, and we're gonna come into a lizard pose. So again, if we're not going on our wrists, you can gently keep fingertips up and just sit like this in here. You can sit with your forearm on your thigh if you don't want to use wrists. If you can get elbows to the ground, go for it. Otherwise, we're just going to sink in and stay for 5 breaths here. And again, you don't have to just stay in this pose. If you want a little movement, maybe you come onto the outer edge of that front foot and open the knee up. Maybe look up to the sky and then come back. As long as you're keeping the integrity there in your knee, we don't want to be doing too much. So if you're going to be moving your foot, flex those toes and keep the engagement there. Again, if you want to take it a bit further, you could come up onto your hand, maybe reach back, maybe you grab the back foot for a nice quad stretch, and a little baby heart opener. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths there. And then we'll make our way back to lizard here. And then what I want to do is come into a side lunge Cossack squat type of thing. So from your lizard, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and then travel around again. So I'll show you first. Travel around and we come down to wherever you are in that squat, okay? No wrists. I want you, if we're up like this, if you have the balance to, lift the leg and then come into that side squat. If you don't have the balance, just hang out in lizard or just come back and you can stretch this way, okay? Really just do, like, move however you need to move. One way is not always the only way. So if we're in that squat, if you can, come on over to the other side, and we'll do this just a couple times to get nice and juicy into the hips here. And then come on back to that lunge, plant the hands, come back to downward dog, no wrists, we come to that lunge. Use something as a little support, step it up and come up, okay? And again, no wrists, gentle on a block or a surface, and just try to extend that tailbone up to the sky and flatten the back down, okay? So we'll take a couple breaths in downward facing dog. You might feel a little difference now in one leg versus the other, now that we've opened up the one side. And when you're ready, we will plant that right foot. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the foot. And then we're gonna drop that back knee. We're gonna inhale, arms up. Again, find what's right for you here. and we're not totally sinking in. We're tucking the tailbone, making sure you can feel that. As soon as you tuck your tailbone, you should feel that right hip flexor like kick on, and then we can start to sink down, okay? So we're inhaling here, and we're either here or on your exhale, you're gonna come into that half split. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lunge. Maybe you take it a little further back. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lunge, and walk it out to lizard. And again, find what you want here. So you're either here, again, if you want to play with the movement, we're gonna keep the toes flexed and come out onto the outside of that left foot, okay? And again, if you want to reach back for that quad stretch, you might not get there. You can always use a strap too. Sometimes I have to grab it and then sink it forward. Little tiny baby back bend. Wherever you are, we will take 2 more yummy, slow, deep breaths. And then come back to your lizard, and we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna walk that foot back in, tuck the back toes, lift it up, and sit it down into that side squat. I cannot remember for the life of me what this is called. Please someone tell me, or I guess I can look it up after. And one more time. And coming back to the front, and we're gonna step it up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And we'll plant the hands and just step it right back to our downward facing dog. We're gonna plant the left foot, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose, and come into pigeon. So a lot of the time you might hear that you have to have your shin parallel with the front of the mat. That is not the case. Mine definitely does not do that. So just find the angle that works for you. Again, you can use like props or your BFF here. You could prop up on it. If we're not on our wrists, we can maybe come down on our forearms. And we'll just hang out here. And then slowly, if you were on your forearms, come back up. And we're just gonna scooch on to the side booty, sweep the leg around. And what I want you to do is bring, sort of like tree pose, we wanna bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Sit up straight, inhale, arms up, and exhale, forward fold. And slowly come back up, and we will just come back over onto our knees, back up into downward facing dog. Again, no wrists, you're just gonna come to your knees, stand up, okay? So, and then same thing as before, gentle fingertips on blocks, and we're gonna stay here. And then we'll do the same thing where we plant the right foot, inhale the left leg up, exhale knee to nose, and then we'll come into our pigeon pose. So if you were up here, no wrists, I want you to slowly come down onto your knees. And then if you can get into pigeon, go for it. If you can't, what I want you to do is sit on the floor 90-90, and I want you to just sit and maybe have a nice twist, maybe twist around to the back, and then rotate to the other side. Bit of a different stretch, but still yummy, okay? So if we're in our pigeon pose on the other side, we are just hanging out. One more nice deep breath here. And then slowly, if you're on your forearms, come up and come to the side booty. Same thing, we're gonna put the bottom of the left foot by the right inner thigh. Inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, forward fold. And inhale, come up. Now one more yummy, yummy heart opener. Gonna need some books, blocks, pillows. I like to put one block like this, one block. So one block sort of along, like vertically along your spine. And then one the other way, and that's where your head's gonna rest. And we're just going to let our legs come out long, gently come back, and hang out here. If you want a little hip action too, maybe come into butterfly. And just because I like a little movement, I'm just gonna play with my arms. And just let gravity do its thing here. And then we're gonna slowly come out of it. And then finally, you can either do legs up the wall or a supported bridge, any level, whatever works for you. You can do both. And we're just gonna hang out here for a little while. If you're up against a wall, just really let the wall support you here. Now, if you want to stay here, please do. Otherwise, you can make your way to Shavasana. Maybe you take the butterfly pose again, maybe mirroring the arms with the legs in the diamond shape. Or maybe you're just out long. If you are in the butterfly pose, you could also use blocks here for the full Shavasana experience and place them under your knees. And this is where I will leave you, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this flow. I would love to hear how you got on in the comments. And if you feel inclined to maybe share with a friend or two, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good day. Namaste.